Hello, YouTube. Stanley Pacion, now Voyager. Were I a gentleman true, gallant, the kind of chap with the plumage in his hat, whose cape readies for a damsel's distress, I would say, let us end it now. You are too young, or, even better put, I am too old for love with a beauty your age. But let's face it, no two-bit convention possesses me. Long ago, it was in the woods of western Massachusetts. I saw time tunnel down the trail before me. I saw the nature of things, the whirl into which all we know disappears. And tonight the faces of the dead startle me awake. Family and friends float before me. Oh, the calamity! Death holds both young and old alike. Darling, the air in my bedroom, it drops to the temperature of ice. I envision my Aunt Helene and see her when she says to the child who is me, Stanley, go ahead, touch her. My cousin Barbara lies in her coffin before the age of 6. She was a year older than I. I remember how stiff and cold her corpse felt. My buddy Burton, cut down well before prime, thought of him occupies my every day. Revelry brings me to Joey, who cried, Whitney's dead. And right there on Fifth Avenue, opposite the public library, he placed his gun on the glass of the showcase countertop. I was in the jewelry shop. I dream a slip back to my former ways. The drinking life. I could taste the whiskey shots, the beverage dispensed that afternoon. It was Johnny Walker Black. The haunting goes on. More of the dead they parade before me. Omar, tall, dark, forgive me here, for I know no better than the honest truth. Handsome. The child, Spencer, my son's best friend, my high school sweethearts, Arlene and Lynn, all taken, all unwitting emblems, as if to prove my life bears no promise of continuance. Nightmare arms with disembodied hands wag imaginary fingers. They seem to demand, I pick up pen and write. But before one dream ceases, another appears. The scene abruptly changes. My fantasy goes from a somber personal cast to new vision of vivid color and improbability. My emotions are steady, yet I realize a rush of air and that I am falling. I have fallen backwards into other previous space and time. The world before me, though a tableau, seemingly breathing and alive, stays frozen. It wants animation. Nothing moves. When I look, I see the birds of the air keeping still. Those who were eating did not eat, and those who were conveying material to make nest do not convey it. And as I further study the dream picture which unfolds right there in front of me, I recognize that I am witness to low surf beaches and natural limestone harbors with wharfs upon which anchor long ships, vessels whose hulls sprout tall center masts, which themselves are rigged, tied to great single rectangular sails dyed blood red. Athwart these ships, from garboards up, are planks, broad, axe-hewed, and each of the planks has a color of its own, and each plank appears nailed one upon the other. The sides of those long ships are as the bands of rainbows, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and royal velvet, and royal violet. Color upon color runs the length of keels, and a fierce dragon head in gold. crowns the prows. Rudders are mounted at right, and within each craft upon rows and rows of chests sit oarsmen. The ships are set to sail, yet the entire assembled host seem as if stuck in stone itself as a painted sculpture done in high relief, all motion suspended. The waves have stopped. They break not. What a night it is. It really is. What a remarkable night. Never before have I seen such a technicolor panorama. My own closed world of family and friends, personal familiar events, and their sad foreboding now become turned into historical vision with scenes rooted in times long ago, displaying a physical geography, a world which I had never visited, environs of which I had no familiarity. My bedroom warms, and a seemingly true but sixth sense intimates spring. I bear witness to a prelude. The dream carries me, and I sense the long days, the glory of Scandinavian summer awakens before me. Light, bright day dawns, and it thrills me. I am ready for adventure. I am happy. I'm exhilarated normal, beyond normal human expectations. And then suddenly, right before my eyes, from within a quick, upward, swirling, light gray smoke, a bearded visage materializes. The image takes me back. It is strange. It wears a helmet, likes of which I had never before encountered. A 4-part iron dome with a sharp spike atop. A braided chain surrounds its eye sockets. It gives a spectacle-like appearance to the visor. Down the back of this specter's neck, mounted from the edge of his helmet, a chain mail curtain falls directly to the shoulder of a thick high tunic. A strap from ear guard to ear guard runs beneath his beard, holds his helmet in place. He says, "Action, please." At once, as though my dream, a set scene belonging to some kind of cinematic construct. At once I hear birds of the air singing, and those who were eating eat, and those who were conveying material to nest now fly about and convey it. The shipyard has come to life, the din already terrific. On the horizon's plain I hear low thunder. I see the spray of waves sparkle in the daylight. I wonder, do I sleep or do I wake? Yet the dream continues. The ancient director's voice commands my mind's eye, though he spoke in a somewhat hoarse, low register. I was able to hear him and clearly understood him. You have witnessed the hurried activity that animates the port of embarkation. Note anticipation of mere material success, how it dwarfs more noble human endeavor. In getting and spending, we lay waste our power. I know of what I speak. The business, these ships, the sails before you had once been mine. The business, the ships portend had been mine. And now, voyager, you, like we before you, pursue the world to bring it to your feet. You seek new riches and hope to bring them home to dazzle compatriots. Yet whatever the greatness now awaits you, yours cannot compare to our accomplishment. The reverie continued with me reading the ancient text. The leather roll in my hands, wondrously, I unfurl it. The spectre's countenance appears on guard. He means to ensure that I wake not, that I remain under his command and tell his story. I read the document aloud. Forgive the invidious note, still mull it over. Allow me this moment. Imagine it. The joy. We sat well in order and smoked the sounding furrows and sailed into the sunrise. We headed towards the baths of the morning stars. And when we landed, we crossed a vast, unnamed landmass between Europe and Asia, harnessed captives to forge the rivers, fought numberless skirmishes. We used native allies to establish posts for trade. And while we traveled, we besought Odin, O Father of fathers, O All-Father, soak us in the blood of our enemies, and let its stench increase our fury. Help us to violence. O great God, guide us to murder. Death to anyone who might defy us. The greater the bloody smell that filled our nostrils, the more the madness drove us to fight and conquer. And when we lit the funeral pyres made from the ships of our current travel and burned the bodies of our fallen comrades into the heaven that awaits the warrior, our hair became matted thick. We were crowned with the ash of the departed. In the smoke from those fires, we breathed in spirits of heroic conquest. We were men of prayer and momentous belief. Utterly we turned our will and we turned our lives over to the care of Father. And I ask again, how may yours compare to ours? How may your enterprise compare to our conquest of the East? We founded Kiev, established the thrones that became the royal house of a great nation. All the way from the soil of the Stara Alvaret, we had sailed. We traveled land, river, and sea until we crossed the Bosphorus, where we battled foes on the plains outside Byzantium. Our work was in the employ of Oriental emperors. We had conquered a vast expanse of land. We ruled from Baltic to Black Sea. And when we returned to homeland shores, we had ships which were filled with slaves and honey. We were heaped with all variety of fruit and brought women to the north, awesome beauties of the east. We stole awesome beauty of the east were ours. We stole the horses of the Hungarians and of the Czechs. Our ships returned laden with pelts, fur, which we and our people used to win our great fight against winter. We had returned home rich beyond measure. No one need tell me how great the events, how the gravestone script commemorates the immortality of your ancestors' deeds and mine. Yet nothing matches the warmth, the memory. My dear wife's body lay in bed, her sleeping next to me. And now, so many years ago, I remember I happened upon my wife while she lifted our son to seat him on the front plank of an ox cart parked in the front of our home. I must convey that there is more lasting memory and real worth for me in the way dappled sunlight had illuminated my son's head than is upon all the ruins in the homeland today. Our paths emerge for a while, then close forever within a dream. Time cuts us a length so short, only the moment may be cherished, all else vanity. And once we recognize the transitory, the fleetingness of all we savor, we may seize the instant and know treasure. I am phantom. My victories mean nothing. Were I only able to spend an hour more in bed with my beloved, could I once more bear living witness to sunlight across treetops at the height of day? If only it possible to play, to tumble, to crawl along with my toddler son. Were we to have opportunity for our knees and our hands to be upon this earth once more. Goodbye, sweet woman. Goodbye. Farewell, farewell. Remember me. He vanishes. His voice and face are gone. The runic leather manuscript, his letter with its seemingly magic unfurling, the record of the glory and the moral of his story. I attempt to continue my grasp, to keep my hands on the record's handles, but it disappeared. I hold nothing. I flounder. I try to rouse myself. I am anxious to remember the dream's vision sequence, the words and the phrases of its message, fearful that the coming dawn, the daylight would deprive me, blot out the details of my nighttime experience. Yet though I try to startle myself awake, to get to pen and table and write, I am again. A drowsy numbness forces my sleep. And at this moment, the dreamscape has turned green. The color now before me matches the hue, the verdant, the summer green of those preserves of forest that stretch for mile upon mile along the river displains. The green equals the shade of woods, the same shade as the leaves of trees which circle the cemetery stone, the burial ground of the Chippewa chief, whose bravery saved the pale skin at Fort Dearborn. The green is the summer color surrounding the burial plot, the Indian burial ground where I played in my youth. And when out from behind this world of green, voices which I hear but do not see, they declare, "Go slowly, my lovely moon, go slowly. Time chases upon our heels. Before long it quickens its pace to furious gallop. All earthly stores succumb to this onslaught in a wisp, as with the languages of our monuments. We cease, and we are remembered no more. And now, over and against this flood of green, a white spectral chorus appears, and from amongst the ensemble, a single ghost figure steps to the fore and says, "I am here to repeat ancient wisdom. We care not, who cares what the joyless say? They should get lost, all of them. Once our tiny brief light is pinched out, there be no night, like that everlasting night, when earth, it replaces heaven. So let's kiss, and let's kiss again. Let's kiss 1,000 times, and then let's do it all over again, those kisses. How many? How many? How many? How many, you say? Let's not number our kisses. There are people with evil eyes, workers of black magic, who would wish to bewitch us. They should not know how many.